My name's Fiora Carter. Last year, I trusted my sister to hold the down payment for my first house. The money vanished the day I was supposed to sign. What followed wasn't a mistake. It was a lesson in blood and balance sheets. If something like this ever happened in your family, tell me in the comments. The phone buzzed while I was finishing a spreadsheet at my desk. Daniel's name flashed on the screen. He didn't sound like someone calling with good news. "Hey, Fiora, the bank hasn't received your deposit. They checked twice." I froze for a second, half expecting him to add that he was joking. "What do you mean? My sister said she transferred it yesterday." She might have hit a delay, but the seller's already getting nervous. They'll walk if it's not cleared by 3. 3 p.m. I glanced at the time. 11:47. My stomach tightened. "Let me call her." Laura answered after the second ring, voice airy like she'd just come out of yoga. "Oh, that? Probably the system lagging. You can go ahead and sign. It'll show up soon." "That's not how wiring works," I said, trying to sound calm. "Well, banks move slower when it's month end. Don't stress." Then she laughed softly, the kind of laugh people use to end a conversation. When the call ended, I pulled up her email with the transfer confirmation. The subject line read, "Depost complete. Deposit spelled wrong." My heart did a small, precise drop, like when a calculator shows the wrong total. I opened the banking app. No pending transactions, no transfers, nothing. The office air felt thicker. Phones rang, keyboards clicked, and all I could think was that my entire future might be floating in some digital void between my sister's account and mine. Another buzz. Daniel again. "Any luck?" "Not yet. She said it's a delay." He sighed. "Delays don't happen with wires. I've seen sellers pull out for less." "I'll figure it out," I said, though I had no idea how. On my desk sat the envelope Laura had given me last week. Documents, she said, were just for convenience. I'd signed them without reading because she was family and we were late for dinner. My name in blue ink stared back at me like a bad joke. I called her again, straight to voicemail. Tried once more. This time she picked up, irritated. "Fiora, I told you I'm in a meeting. Stop panicking. Just tell me when the money will show. Soon. Don't make a scene." Click. I typed a text instead. "Daniel says we might lose the deal." Her reply came instantly. "Chill. I'm handling it. Don't embarrass yourself." A minute later, Daniel called again. "They're asking for proof of funds. If we can't show it in an hour, they'll cancel the contract." He didn't need to add what that meant. I stared at my screen, calculating how fast a person could go from cautious to stupid. Somewhere between trusting and signing, apparently. A bitter laugh slipped out. Guess I picked the wrong career. Accounting's useless when money disappears legally. I grabbed my bag, told my manager I had a family emergency, and rushed toward the elevator. Every step sounded too loud. Outside, the sun hit hard against the parking lot. My phone vibrated again, a notification from the app. I opened it while running to my car. Transfer not found. The next morning started with 3 missed calls from my mother and 1 from my dad. Their voicemails came in waves, concern layered with suspicion. By the time I called back, they already had a version of the story that wasn't mine. "Laura said you mixed up the deadline," my mother began. "You know she works with banks all the time. Maybe you gave her the wrong routing number." "I didn't," I said, steady but tired. "She never sent the money." My dad cut in, calm but sharp. "Fiora, your sister has always helped you. Don't turn this into a fight over a clerical error." There it was, the family script. Laura, the responsible one. Me, the overreacting younger sibling. They didn't want facts. They wanted peace. At work, the day moved like sludge. I sent my boss an email requesting time off to fix a financial issue. He stopped by my desk 5 minutes later, coffee in hand, wearing that HR smile that meant trouble. "Everything okay?" "Just a problem with a wire transfer." He raised an eyebrow. "Family?" "Yeah." He nodded, then half laughed. "Try not to bring the drama here, all right? We've got enough numbers that don't add up already." I took that as permission to leave early. Daniel suggested we meet at a cafe near his office. When I walked in, he already had 2 coffees and a folder open on the table. He looked too calm for someone who might lose a sale. "I checked that confirmation email you forwarded," he said, turning his laptop toward me. "See the sender address? That's not a bank domain. It's Gmail. Anyone could make that." The screen showed a fake logo, slightly stretched. I stared at it like it was a magic trick I should have spotted. "So she didn't just forget," I said. "It's looking that way," Danielle leaned back. "Don't get emotional yet. Keep everything, texts, emails, screenshots. If this blows up, you'll need a clean trail." I nodded, though part of me wanted to hurl the coffee across the table. While he went to get napkins, I called the bank again, hoping for some miracle, maybe a pending transfer, maybe anything. The rep checked twice, polite but firm. No record, no wire, no attempt. When I hung up, Danielle was watching me. Nothing? Nothing. He exhaled through his teeth. "You might need to start thinking about what happens if the seller backs out." "That's in 2 days." "Then you've got 2 days. My phone buzzed again. Laura. Her text read, "If you keep asking questions, I'll pull out completely. People are already laughing at you for panicking." The phrasing hit harder than I expected. Pull out completely, as if helping me had been charity work. I didn't reply. Just took screenshots. Text thread, timestamp, contact name. My hands barely shook. Daniel glanced over as I saved the last one. "Do you think your sister's actually scamming you?" A pause stretched between us, long enough for the cafe noise to fill it. Cups clinked. Someone laughed too loudly at another table. Finally, I said, "No, she's just better at it than most." He gave a short, dry laugh, but his eyes stayed serious. "Keep that sense of humor. You'll need it." My phone kept buzzing, family group chat lighting up. My mother sent a message about hoping the girls can work it out. My uncle chimed in with a thumbs-up emoji. Digital neutrality at its finest. Daniel closed his folder. "Here's what I'd do. Collect everything, but don't accuse her again yet. Let her hang herself with her own messages. By Friday, if the money still isn't in, we'll escalate." "Escalate how?" "To the seller first, then the bank's fraud department. It's messy, but at least it'll be official." I nodded, though my mind was already 10 steps ahead, checking every document I'd signed, every word Laura had said that sounded off. He looked at his watch. "Deadline's 5 p.m. Friday. After that, the contract dies." That sentence hung in the air as he packed his laptop. The word dies felt right. Not ends, dies. On the drive home, traffic crawled along I-35. I rolled down the window, let the noise cover the pounding in my chest. By the time I parked, the sun was low and orange. Another text from Laura blinked on the screen. "Let it go, Em. You're making a fool of yourself." I took one more screenshot, then another, just in case. By Wednesday morning, I had stopped expecting apologies. Instead, I started collecting data, old statements, archived emails, the "for convenience" authorization paper Laura had made me sign last spring. Everything went into one folder named Proof. My hands worked faster than my thoughts. It felt almost professional, like running an audit at work, except this time the fraudster shared my last name. Daniel sent a text. "Need anything from my side?" "Not yet," I replied. "Just numbers." Half the day disappeared between online banking portals. Somewhere between 2 spreadsheets, the pattern appeared. 3 accounts, 3 banks, all with the same beneficiary, Laura Carter. One account was new, less than a month old, probably the one she used for my down payment. Another had small transactions labeled as consulting fees. The third stopped me cold. It had been opened 2 years ago, right around the time she told everyone she was covering medical bills for our parents. That memory clicked into place like a lock turning. She'd said, "I'm at the hospital, can't talk. I'm meeting a financial advisor about insurance." That meeting suddenly looked very different. The apartment felt smaller, air stale from concentration and disbelief. I printed the statements, laid them on the kitchen counter in neat rows. Daniel called. Any news? I found her name on 3 separate accounts. A low whistle came through the speaker. She's diversifying. Smart investor. That's one way to put it. You should verify with the banks before you confront her. Otherwise, she'll spin it. He was right. I submitted an online request for account verification. The form asked for reason, suspected misuse of funds. The system gave a response. Processing time, 48 hours. 2 days might as well have been 2 months. At 3 p.m., my phone pinged. Laura. M, what are you doing? The bank called asking weird questions. I typed and deleted twice before sending. Just checking something. It's routine. And her reply came fast. Routine? You're making this a circus. You're hurting the family. That word again, family, her favorite shield. I didn't answer. By evening, I'd forwarded the data to Daniel. He didn't text back for an hour. Then, got it. Keep everything offline, too. I started a folder on a flash drive and dropped it into my purse. At 8:12 p.m., another email came, this time from the bank's compliance department. Your request for audit verification has been escalated to the legal division. You will be contacted if additional documentation is needed. For a second, I thought I'd misread it. Legal division. That escalated faster than I expected. My phone buzzed again, this time with a message from Laura. You went behind my back. Do you have any idea what you've started? No, I texted, but apparently the bank does. The typing bubble appeared, disappeared, then came back. If you drag me into this, I'll use my trustee rights. Don't test me. Trustee rights. I stared at the words until they blurred. Somewhere in those papers I'd signed, she must have given herself authority beyond what I realized. Daniel called almost immediately after. Got your message. You okay? Define okay. He exhaled. That bad, huh? She's threatening legal action now. Let her. She's bluffing. Maybe, but she's good at bluffing. He didn't argue. Keep documenting. You're not wrong to dig. She just expected you not to. I glanced at the stack of papers covering my kitchen counter. Lines of numbers, dates, transfers. A life translated into ledger form. This is the first time I've been threatened for trying to find my own money, I said. Guess there's a first for everything, he chuckled softly. Blackmail looks less awkward when it's wrapped in family language. I almost smiled. Almost. The first call came at 9 in the morning. A polite woman from the bank's compliance office introduced herself, asked me to confirm my Social Security number, then said the phrase I'd been dreading. We've temporarily frozen all related accounts while the internal review is ongoing. I stared at my screen. What do you mean, related? Any account linked by authorization or family trustee connection, she said. We expect to resolve it within 48 hours. My checking account, the one that paid my rent, was now part of their little experiment. By noon, my phone was vibrating nonstop. One text from Daniel, call me when you can. Then another, from my mother. Laura sent an email to everyone. She says you filed a false claim that's hurting her reputation. What's going on? I called her back, already knowing how the conversation would go. Mom, she's under investigation. The bank froze her accounts. She says you misunderstood everything, my father cut in from the background. You embarrassed the whole family. Embarrassed? She stole my money. My mother sighed, the sound of someone choosing sides. Fiora, your sister has always looked out for you. Maybe talk before dragging lawyers into this. I hung up before the guilt had time to stick. Daniel picked up on the first ring. You okay? The bank froze everything. Now my parents think I started it. She moved fast, he said. Typical damage control. You'll need to file an official statement. Once you do, there's no reversing it. I don't care anymore. You should, he said quietly. After that filing, it becomes federal. No takebacks. The weight of his voice landed heavier than the words. Around 3, an email from HR appeared in my inbox. Your payroll deposit has been delayed due to an account hold involving an ongoing banking investigation. Please contact your financial institution directly. The chain reaction was perfect. One accusation, and my income stalled. I sent Daniel a screenshot. His response came fast. That's retaliation. She's dragging you into collateral damage. Keep everything documented. At 4, another email appeared. This one from an unfamiliar address ending in @lawpartnersgroup.com. The subject line read, Notice of Intent to Pursue Defamation Claim. The letter was long and rehearsed. Our client, Ms. Laura Carter, has been materially harmed by your false statements and unauthorized data access. Near the bottom, one sentence glowed like a neon sign. Continued defamation will compel our client to exercise her legal rights in full. I sent it to Daniel. He called immediately. She's bluffing, he said, but didn't sound convinced. Still, we should respond through the bank's legal channel. Don't reply directly. The day crawled forward, my inbox filled with variations of accusation and caution. Family members forwarding Laura's email thread. Co-workers pretending not to notice the HR rumor that I was under review. At 6, another message from Laura appeared, this time short and smug. Remind me again who signed that authorization form? It took a second to realize what she meant. The paper she'd slipped me months ago, the one I'd signed without reading. She'd just turned my signature into consent. I opened my files and pulled up the scan. At the top, Limited Financial Trustee Authorization. Beneath, my own handwriting. My stomach dropped. She could now claim I'd granted her control to manage the money on my behalf. Daniel's voice came through the phone again. What happened? She used that document. It says I authorized her. He cursed under his breath. Then the email trail won't save you. She'll spin it as you panicking after a normal delay. She already did. Then we changed the approach, he said. Forget convincing anyone. Go straight to procedure. Submit a legal complaint. Let the evidence talk. For the first time all week, the path was clear, even if it led straight into hell. By 8, I was sitting in my car in the office parking lot, laptop open on the passenger seat. The dashboard light painted everything blue. My phone buzzed with another bank notification. Internal investigation window, 24 hours remaining. Rain started to tap on the windshield, steady and cold. Daniel texted one last time. You can still back off if you want. Once this is filed, it's official. I looked at the drafts folder on my screen, half-written messages to Laura, my parents, even HR. One by one, I deleted them. A new document blinked open. The cursor waited. This time, I didn't type a message. I started a complaint form, direct, formal, citing every line of evidence. The words came easy now. The laptop fan hummed louder as I filled the fields. Somewhere between description of incident and requested action, the rain blurred the windshield completely. I paused only once to breathe and then kept typing. The week drained every ounce of normal from my life. My account stayed frozen, my paycheck delayed, and my parents stopped calling altogether. Even the group chat fell silent. That quiet was worse than their judgment. It meant they'd decided I was wrong, and no one needed to say it aloud. I worked from home, pretending to care about invoices, while the bank investigated whether I was complicit in my own theft. Every new email notification made my chest tighten. Most were useless updates, but one from HR reminded me my financial circumstances might affect company compliance. Translation: I was one bad rumor away from suspension. When Daniel called, his tone was steady, almost too calm. How are you holding up? I'm functioning. That's not an answer. What do you want me to say? My sister robbed me, my parents think I framed her, and my job's on pause. I'm great. He let the silence linger. You're allowed to be angry. Anger's expensive. I can't afford it. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the pile of papers on my desk. Statements, emails, letters from lawyers. None of them looked like proof anymore. They looked like clutter. For a long moment, I thought about that night 2 years ago when Laura had borrowed from the family fund. Dad had questioned her, and she'd smiled that calm, patronizing smile. I know how to move money. Trust me. She paid it back eventually, which made everyone forget. I hadn't. Apparently, she hadn't either, just learned to scale the trick. Daniel broke the pause. You still there? Yeah, just remembering how this all started. Meaning? I thought staying quiet made me mature. Turns out, it just made me easy. He sighed, not surprised. She counted on that. The laptop chimed with a new message. Daniel's voice dropped. Check your inbox. I sent you something. A PDF opened, filled with numbers and property listings. It was a public disclosure report from the state's real estate registry. Near the bottom, my sister's name sat beside the company that had received my wired funds. What am I looking at? She invested your deposit into a private real estate pool. Your money became her capital contribution. The room spun a little. So the down payment I saved for 3 years is part of her investment portfolio? Pretty much. I wanted to laugh but couldn't manage it. My throat felt tight, dry. Of course. Why just steal when you can diversify? He didn't laugh. I'm serious, Fiora. This connects her to financial misconduct. If you walk away now, she'll just repeat it with someone else. I looked at the screen again. The rows of figures blurred, columns aligning into accusation. Somewhere between the decimal points, the reality settled. She hadn't just taken advantage of me. She'd built a business model out of trust. Daniel's voice softened. You don't need to fight her with rage, just facts. That's what people like her can't handle. And for the first time in days, I nodded without hesitation. When the call ended, I sat there, motionless, for a long stretch of nothing. Then came movement, small, mechanical, clearing the desk, sorting the papers into new stacks, opening a fresh document on my laptop titled Counterclaim Draft. Each click steadied me. I copied every record, every bank notice, each screenshot of Laura's texts. The narrative wrote itself, dates, amounts, her digital footprints overlapping mine. An hour later, Daniel texted, Once you file this, it's irreversible. I know, I replied. That's the point. I reviewed the email one last time. Attachments, 27 files. Subject line, formal complaint, misuse of funds under family trustee agreement. Before sending, I stared at the line that read, To Central Banking Compliance Division. My reflection glinted in the screen, pale and unfamiliar. Some part of me expected hesitation, the usual loop of guilt and second-guessing. It didn't come. I thought about Laura's last words. Don't test me. Fine. The cursor hovered over send. My finger pressed down. A small confirmation box popped up. This action cannot be undone. Continue? Yes. 2 days after sending the complaint, the bank called again, this time from a restricted number. The investigator's tone was cautious, but not unfriendly. Ms. Carter, we've confirmed your sister wasn't acting alone. The cosigner on her trustee account works in our credit division. His name is Jason Hale. Jason, her boyfriend, the one she'd once described as boring but reliable. Cosigner, I repeated. Yes, he processed internal transfers between her accounts. It appears designed to avoid audit flags. The phrase landed like a slap. Avoid audit flags. It wasn't just theft, it was a strategy. When the call ended, I sat back and replayed the first domino in my head. Laura saying, I'm in a meeting, don't panic. That meeting hadn't been with a financial advisor. It was a planning session with her partner in crime. Daniel called before I could text him. I saw the update. She had help from someone on the inside, didn't she? Yeah, Her boyfriend works at the bank. He's been moving the funds for her. That explains why everything looked clean. Clean until now. He hesitated. Fiora, there's more. I looked into that authorization form you mentioned, the one she filed with her lawyer. She submitted a revised scan. It has an extra paragraph added, giving her full discretionary management over the assets. I pinched the bridge of my nose. She edited the document. Yeah, she reprinted it, rescanned it, and uploaded it as the official version. No one questioned it because it matched your signature. So now she can say, I approved every transaction. Exactly. She's playing the long game. The words stung because they were true. Laura had been planning this for years, layering each move with just enough legality to blur the crime. Before I could respond, a new email notification appeared from legalcompliance@bank-mailgroup.com. The subject line read, Account Suspension Notice, Fraudulent Activity. The message looked official, logo and all. It said my account access was revoked due to pending defamation review. I tried to log in. My credentials no longer worked. Daniel's voice came through again. You just went quiet. What happened? She sent a fake legal notice. My email's locked. That's not possible unless... He paused. Unless her boyfriend did it. Well, now I can't even access my complaint. That's identity interference. We can fix it, but it'll take time. Time was exactly what I didn't have. By the afternoon, the seller for the house sent a final message through Daniel. Due to unresolved banking complications, we're terminating the contract. There it was, the coffin lid closing. I stared at the message until the words blurred, then forwarded it to Laura with one line. Congratulations. You got what you wanted. Her reply came within minutes. Don't be dramatic, Em. You weren't ready for a mortgage anyway. The rage that followed was almost clean, cold, focused. I scrolled her social media out of reflex and froze. Her latest post read, Some people forget who helped them climb, then blame you when they fall. A few mutual relatives had already commented hearts and prayers. Daniel texted me a screenshot. She's rewriting the story. She's not just stealing money, she's auditioning for sainthood. I typed back, she's building a defense. Victims get sympathy, not audits. Exactly, he said when I called. She's creating a paper trail of pity. What now? For now, nothing rash. Let her perform. The louder she gets, the more careless she'll be. I wanted to believe that, but by night, the loneliness grew heavy. My inbox stayed locked, my family feed full of people reposting her cryptic quotes about forgiveness. Sometime past midnight, I opened the drawer of my desk, searching for an old phone, the one I'd used before switching carriers last year. It powered up slowly, screen cracked, but working. Scrolling through the old voice memos, I found one titled, Taxes, Laura. The date was 2 years ago. Curiosity won. I hit play. Her voice filled the room, confident and casual. If anyone ever asks, just say I manage your finances, okay? It's cleaner for both of us. My hand went cold. She'd rehearsed the story long before any of this started. Daniel's last message blinked on my main phone. Try to rest. Tomorrow we'll regroup. I didn't reply. The recording still played softly, her laughter echoing at the end. The meeting was my parents' idea, a family reconciliation, as my mother called it. I called it something else, opportunity. We met in their dining room on a Saturday afternoon, a space that always smelled like polished wood and denial. Daniel came as my advisor, his laptop bag slung casually over his shoulder. Laura arrived 10 minutes late, dressed like she was heading to brunch, not an ambush. Fiora, she said, smiling, can we please stop this nonsense? I just want you to apologize for making a big deal out of nothing. I nodded slowly, resting my phone on the table with the screen facing up. Sure, let's just get everything clear first, so we can move on. Her eyes flicked to the phone. Are you recording me? No, I said too calmly, just documenting the conversation, for accuracy. She gave a half laugh. God, you're dramatic. Daniel cleared his throat. We'll keep this civil. Let's start with the basic question. Why the transfer never reached the seller? Laura tilted her head, the picture of patience. Because I used the money to make a temporary investment. It's not lost, it's growing. Fiora just doesn't understand how finances work. I leaned forward. So you admit you used it for something else? Oh, please, she said, waving a hand. It's still for you, technically. The return could have helped you with closing costs. Daniel's voice cut in, mild but sharp. Then you won't mind showing the account statements from that fund. Her smile faltered. I don't have them printed. Digital's fine, he said. Her hand twitched toward her purse. It's complicated right now. If I pull it out too early, we'll lose both principal and interest. That did it. Daniel met my eyes. The signal. Laura, I said, sliding my laptop open, you don't have to show us. We already have it. The screen glowed with the email from the bank, confirmation that the investment was under her and Jason Hale's joint ownership. My mother gasped softly. My father's chair creaked. Laura's tone sharpened. You hacked my account? No, the bank sent it during their review. Daniel clicked another tab. Would you like to explain why Jason Hale, your boyfriend, is co-signing your trustee fund? Her jaw clenched. That's confidential information. Not anymore, Daniel said. It's part of the federal case file now. She pushed her chair back a few inches. This is insane. You're twisting everything. I tapped the trackpad, switching to the next window, the altered authorization form. Funny thing, I said. The metadata on this shows it was modified last month, not last year when I signed it. You added a paragraph giving yourself full control. Her face drained of color. You don't even know how metadata works. Maybe not, I said, but the bank's forensic team does. Her voice rose. You're destroying this family over a misunderstanding. Daniel stayed quiet, watching. My parents looked torn, guilt and confusion flickering across their faces. I spoke evenly. I tried to keep it private, Laura, but you made it public. She slammed her palm on the table. You think you're smarter than me? I built everything for this family while you played the victim. That's interesting, I said, because victims usually don't control investment portfolios in other people's names. She opened her mouth, but I didn't give her the chance. From the laptop speaker came her own voice, recorded, confident, undeniable. If anyone ever asks, just say I manage your finances. It's cleaner for both of us. The room went still. Even the clock seemed to pause. Daniel broke the silence. For the record, that statement alone qualifies as admission of fiduciary misrepresentation. My father's eyes dropped to the table. My mother whispered something about not knowing. Daniel continued, tone professional. I've already submitted these files to the Federal Audit Bureau. They'll take it from here. Laura looked around, searching for an exit that didn't exist. My laugh came out dry. If you really want to manage finances, you can start with your attorney's retainer. Her phone buzzed on the table, vibrating against the wood. She glanced down. The screen flashed a new notification. Account access suspended pending investigation. For the first time since this started, Laura didn't have words. She just stood, pale and silent, clutching her purse. Daniel didn't move. My parents didn't either. The only sound left was the faint hum of my laptop, still recording. 2 weeks later, everything started unraveling in public. The bank's final report hit Laura like a slow-moving wreck. They demanded full repayment within 30 days and referred her boyfriend, Jason Hale, to internal investigation. His name vanished from the company directory the next morning. Rumor said he'd been escorted out holding a cardboard box. My parents went dark. No calls, no texts, just the occasional forwarded prayer chain that I ignored. Their silence didn't sting anymore. It just confirmed what everyone in the family already knew. No one wanted to pick a side that came with paperwork. Danielle texted, "It's over. You won." Winning didn't feel like much. It was quieter than I imagined. That afternoon, I stopped by Laura's neighborhood to drop off an envelope from the bank. Her car was gone, the driveway half empty. Through the open garage, I saw cardboard boxes stacked high. She was moving out, head down, hair tied back, like she'd aged 10 years in a week. When she noticed me, her face froze. She didn't speak, just walked over, placed a folded note on the porch railing, and went back to packing. I waited until she disappeared inside, then opened it. Didn't think things would go this far. No signature. She didn't need one. That night, an email from the bank arrived. Your account is now fully under your control. I stared at it for a long time before forwarding it to Daniel. His reply was simple. About time. The next morning, Laura sent one last message. It popped up between spam and bank alerts. Money's back in your account. I hope you're satisfied. I typed back, received in full, then blocked her number. It was strangely anticlimactic. No closure, no cinematic apology, just a text thread that stopped breathing. By Friday, I'd moved my funds to a new bank. The clerk at the branch desk was cheerful in a way only someone with no context can be. Reason for closing the old account, she asked, typing without looking up. Family, I said. Her hands paused over the keyboard. That's vague. Trust me, I told her. It's specific enough. She chuckled awkwardly, clicked a few more boxes, and slid over the confirmation slip. I signed it with the same blue pen that had once given Laura power. It felt oddly satisfying, like sealing a wound with paperwork. Back at the apartment, the place looked stripped down, half my things already boxed. The lease ended in 3 days, and I'd found a smaller unit across town. No shared walls, no memories of phone calls that started with, "Can you help me with this transfer?" I spent the evening wrapping dishes in newspaper, deleting old financial folders from my laptop, and labeling one last flash drive archive. The word felt right. Past tense. Filed away. Daniel called while I was taping the last box. "Moving already?" "Yeah, new place, new bank, same taxes." He laughed softly. "You sound lighter. I guess I finally own something that's just mine, even if it's debt. That's still progress." "Progress with a paper trail," I said. He didn't argue, just wished me luck and reminded me to breathe. After hanging up, I took one last walk around the apartment. The space echoed in that hollow, temporary way that happens before you hand over keys. On the counter, the laptop still displayed the bank's message, "Fully under your control." The phrase had a sterile kind of poetry to it, cold but clean. I packed the laptop, then paused. Something in me wanted to leave it open one last time, as proof. Instead, I shut it gently, the sound small and final. At the door, I turned off the light. The room dimmed to gray, only the hallway glow spilling across the floor. I placed my old house keys on the hook, metal against wood, sharp and certain. For a second, the laptop's black screen caught the light from outside, reflecting the doorway back at me. Just an outline, me, the empty room, and the faint shimmer of something ending properly. Then I walked out. Word count, 700.